Welcome back to another episode of the Gridiron Grind. Creta, Jimmy, we were about to get into a great discussion. Then I was like, hey, man, let's just hit record real quick and get this on air. Cowboys obviously lose. Jacksonville, pretty disheartening loss. 17-point lead. Second big double-digit fourth quarter lead blown this year. Packers, Jaguars. But anyway, what we're talking about, Jalen Hurts obviously out Saturday, Christmas Eve for the Cowboys. And Jimmy was about to give us his thoughts of what my theory is, I think Jalen Hurts has never beat the Cowboys when Dak Prescott was a starting quarterback. His win earlier was against Cooper Rush. I mean, I think they are scared of the Cowboys when they're at full strength. I'd say what you want, but I think if Jalen Hurts played and the Cowboys beat them, then in the back of their mind, they might still win the East, but in the back of their mind, like, we still haven't beat the Cowboys with Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts.
I think there's a lot to that. I think there's a lot to that. People say yes, no, whatever. I think there is a lot to that because then it just sort of derails your, all the momentum you've got.
Yeah.
Because right now, Phillies, they're going to come in on Christmas Eve and they're going to be the Grinch, big green Grinch, steals Christmas, and they're going to just murder us. And if we beat them with their star, their baby, we beat them with Jalen Hurts, it just all the momentum's gone.
Exactly.
I mean, it's gone.
That's what I think. If he hit 50-50, they're not going to play him for that reason because their momentum's gone.
It would not surprise me if they don't designate him. If they do not designate him out, they just don't play him.
Yeah, no.
It would not surprise me if we start to crunch time. I could see old boy panicking and trying to put him in. If it's one of those last second drives, if it's a close game, if it's like the Texans game and it's close and they need to score to put us away, I could see Hurts going in the game. Now, if we somehow end up on them multiple, 2-3 scores, I think they're just going to eat it and just play for the playoffs at that point. Try to get him healthy. But if it's close, it would not surprise me, just a panic move. They put Hurts in.
Yeah.
I'd love it. Good. Put him in.
Put him in. He has never beat the Cowboys when Dak Prescott has been the starting quarterback. I guess we should first address the Jaguars loss. I mean, it was a bad loss. How do you feel on it? I felt like, now basically it almost completely gets rid of our chance of winning the division. I know there's still a chance if we went out and the Eagles lose out, we'd win the division. But it didn't it bothered me because we lost, but it didn't in the grand scheme of things. I was like, we're going to end up being the 5th seed, whatever. Just we got to learn from and get better. I had so many family members and friends like texting me like, fire the coach. Is this coach staff's never going to win anything? And I'm like, I just didn't take it. I was mad we lost, but I was over it pretty quickly. But I've had people still like, this team's never going to accomplish anything with this coaching staff and Dak Prescott at quarterback. Where do you fit on that scale of how that loss sits with you?
I'm about like you, man. I just was like, it's about right. It's one of those games I could see us losing. We talked about a little bit on the show. What Jaguars team are we going to get?
Yeah.
And we've got the Jaguars trending up. Right now they're beating the Jets. The Jets are a team that's trending up too. And, the Jaguars taking care of business there. It didn't surprise me. It was a game that I was like you said, I'm mad that we lost. But, it wasn't to me, losing to the Texans would have been way worse than losing to the Jaguars.
Because that was when I watched the Jaguars game, even when we were smoking them second, third quarter, I was like, hey, this Jaguars team is good. And I said, put it down right now. They're going to make the playoffs next year. They might make it this year, could squeak in, but they're going to make the playoffs next year. I could see them winning their division next year because
they remind me of the Dolphins last year.
Exactly. They're young, they're talented, really good defensive players. Trevor Lawrence is getting better. He's playing the best ball. He's had one pick in his last 8-9 games. I mean,
Lawrence is really finding his groove as a pro now.
Yeah.
And it didn't bother me. Like you said, it bothered me that we lost, but I thought, that's a game that we would lose. Totally thinking we're going to come in, beat the Jaguars, and head on into Christmas Eve against the Eagles, which is the game that we really care about. And so, yeah, it made 100% sense that we would lose that game. And I don't know, I'm not up to fire the coaching staff and this
Yeah,
and that.
just
I'm going. It reminds me. I liked I liked Romo. I like Dak. And people are like, oh, Dak's terrible. Like, okay, well, who's better? Don't tell me
exactly.
Cooper Rush. I don't care. We went 4-1 with Cooper Rush. We're not 10 wins with Cooper Rush
Yeah.
because the defense carried a lot of that. And as we've seen in the past, when you've got one side or the other, eventually that breaks down and it doesn't hit. We've had teams, phenomenal offense, no defense. What
Yep.
happens? Yeah, well, we can't stop anybody. We end up getting beat. We've had phenomenal defense, no offense. What happens? Well, eventually, the defense gives one up and then we lose. So I'm sitting here going, okay, who could we get that's available that's better than Dak? No
Yep.
one.
And
Same with Romo.
everybody wants to hate on Dak, but where's our defense been the last 2 weeks? They got gashed by
Yeah,
the Texans, and we had 0 pass rush. I don't think we had a sack against the Texans. No pass rush. Same thing last week. We had no pass rush last week. So the defense gave up 40 points to the Jaguars. Everybody wants to hate on Dak, and
yeah.
Dak's not perfect. That one interception was a bad interception. The
Hmm.
last one, the end of the game, what is Dak supposed to do? Hit the guy in the hands, falling out, he catch the ball.
Yeah, and Dak can't catch the ball for him too, and
I
that's
mean,
why anyone wants to question why we're signing T.Y. Hilton and
exactly.
considering signing OBJ. Noah Brown. Look no further than Noah Brown.
And I like Noah Brown. He's done
Um,
some great things, but dude, you
mhm.
can't make that. You can't do that with the game on the line.
Noah Brown had the catch, in my opinion, the catch of the game against the Texans.
Yeah,
The conversion on the sideline that
absolutely.
helped us win the game. And then he turns around and has this. This is why we're signing two wide
Yep.
receivers, is because of Noah Brown. So, but it's a team sport. They
Yeah.
defense, like you said, should have shown up. We just
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
a
know
little
what it is. I
worried.
don't know if it's scheme.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I think they've got us figured out pass rush wise. Parsons is more active this game than he was against the Texans, but
yeah. He had
I
one
just
sack against the Jaguars.
yeah, but it's like all right, we got to have more. I got to see
Exactly.
Lawrence more. I got to see
Our
I got
pass
to see these
rushes.
guys some more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's I've been disappointed in that. I've been disappointed in our defense the last 2 weeks. So, and you can blame it on Dak. People can blame it on Dak all you want, but the defense gave up 40 to the Jaguars. They're scoring, 16 against the Jets as we're recording this. So, I mean, say what you want. We can't be giving up 40. Another thing that concerns me, we've got 4 losses. 3 of them are on the road, and 2 of
Hmm.
them we've had to lead the Packers and we had the Jaguars. So we're going to be the 5 seed. So we're going to have to go on the road for the playoffs. We're going to make the Super Bowl. That concerns me. I don't know if this team can get it done. 3 games. They'd have to win 3 games all on the road probably. And that worries me maybe a little bit. I don't know if they can do that.
And that
Given the
stat's kind of
track record.
telling of the defensive
Yeah.
troubles we've had, not the inability to close out the game on the defensive side of the ball. I feel like offensively, if we needed to close the game out, I like our chances.
If
And
Noah Brown
until
catches
here
the
lately,
ball.
yeah, until here lately, I'm kind of I would have said, yeah, our defense, oh, perfect. We got to get a stop. We got that. We can. There's no way someone can drive the field on us and score. But man, here lately, I'm sitting here going, man, I would rather leave it up to Dak and the offense than the defense.
Yeah.
And I don't, like I said, I don't know what it is. I don't know the fix. I don't know if they've got us scheme wise, if they figured out Dan Quinn. Surely it can't be that simple, right? Or he wouldn't be as good of a
Yeah.
coordinator as he is. I don't know what it is. Maybe they need to do the Space Jam. Give Michael's secret sauce.
Secret sauce.
Maybe
Yeah.
pass those out. But they need something. They need, and this Philly game may be it. Maybe this is the kick in the pants we
Hopefully
need.
so.
Get us back into it. Maybe this will get us amped up, ready to play.
Jalen Hurts out. Gardner Minshew gives a start for the Eagles. Love me some Gardner Minshew, but I mean, you can't lose this game. You can't lose this game. Gardner
Mhm.
Minshew, quarterback. Have you ever heard the story? How this is my favorite Gardner Minshew story. He told us on a podcast I heard. I think it was Pardon My Take. Barstool's Pardon My Take with Big Cat and PFT. He was at his first college because he went to a couple different schools. Forgot where it was. Maybe it's Southern Miss. I don't know. I have to look it up. Or East Carolina. Was it East Carolina? East Carolina. Maybe.
Yeah, I think
East
you're right.
Carolina. Okay. So he goes there, and it was the red shirt rule. They needed him. I guess there was a 4-game red shirt thing or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he played. He was going to redshirt, but then all the first 3 quarterbacks got hurt, so he had to go in. And he played 3 games, and he was like, trying to already played too much, and he couldn't get a regular red shirt. So he was trying to get another year of eligibility. So he was trying to figure out how to do it. So he bought a 5th of Jack Daniels and just was chugging it all night, bought a hammer and a 5th of Jack Daniels. And he started banging and trying to break his hand with a hammer so he could get a medical red shirt and have another year of eligibility. That's the kind of guy Gardner Minshew. I mean, all-time football guy.
He is a football guy, man.
I've always liked him.
Football player.
Yeah, and then he ended up transferring to. He was going to go to Alabama, but Mike Leach talked him into going to Washington State and leading the country in passing. That's what he did. Heisman finalist, and he's had a. That guy's got the most out of his ability. I mean, he's not that talented, but he's gotten the most. I mean, he's been a starter in the league. He's got a couple career wins. Found his home as a backup last couple of years. I mean, I love the guy, but this is a game the Cowboys got to have.
Yeah, you cannot let Gardner Minshew come in here and beat you.
No. If you're a legit
just
team at home, got to get it done. Christmas Eve, whole world's going to be watching.
Mm-hmm.
Got to have a bounce back game. I fully expect them to come ready to play, and I think we're going to have a great game. So, a great thing about Christmas being Sunday, full slate of games on Saturday. Then they give us 3 games on Sunday, a noon game, afternoon game, and a night game Sunday, and then Monday night game. So NFL has games Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Full slate. Throwing a couple bowl games. Got 2 games tomorrow. Bowl games. Then the Hawaii Bowl is always Saturday, Christmas Eve. No bowl games on Sunday the 25th, and then one on the 26th. Our schedule is coming up. We're going to record tonight, and then we're going to record again on Monday to recap the Cowboys-Eagles game. Of course, the Cowboys play next week on Thursday night. They play the Titans. So we'll record on Monday to recap the Eagles game, get ready for the Titans game. But also next Monday's episode, we're going to preview the rest of the bowl games because we won't record again until the following week, and all the bowl games will be done except for the national championship. So not too many big bowl games coming up this weekend. I think there's only like one involving Power 5, first Power 5. That's Wake Forest
in Missouri.
Which might
the
be
Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl.
The Gasparilla Bowl. How can you forget the Gasparilla Bowl? So anyway, that's kind of going to be our schedule. So tune in. We'll get you loaded for this weekend's slate. We're going to record again Monday, recap Cowboys, Eagles, get ready for the Titans, and then talk all about the bowl games. So with that, I guess main thing is Cowboys, Eagles Saturday, full slate NFL, kind of 3 weeks left, NFL season. Cowboys
almost the bowl games
definitely going to get
so far.
What's that?
Go ahead, finish your thought.
The Cowboys definitely going to be the 5 seed. So just depends who. Looks like we're going to play the Bucs. Have to go to Tampa Bay, play Tom Brady in the playoffs. Never fun, but that's what it's looking like.
Going on to the bowl games, what game so far has been the surprise outcome, surprise performance, good or bad for you so far?
Last night was a shocker. I was all in on South Alabama, and Western Kentucky beat the brakes off of them. South Alabama had a top 10 defense. Now, I did think Western Kentucky, starting quarterback, Austin Reed, said he was going to enter the transfer portal, never did, and then he played last night. So
the old okey doke.
Okey doke. Said he was entering the transfer portal, never did play that. So that was part of it. But also, South Alabama had a top 10 defense. So that was one of my losses when we did the show last week. You actually had the over. Great pick by you. That shocked me. Let me look at some of them. Air Force handling Baylor. That's a little shocking. Got to admit. the UTSA Troy game, we hyped that game up, and it was a great game, but UTSA had so many opportunities. They had so many opportunities to win that game. They kind of blew it. Oregon State all over Florida, saw that coming from a mile away. Fresno State, Washington State, I had a good thought that Fresno State, I had Fresno State on the show. They win by 3 touchdowns. I felt that one coming. BYU SMU was a great game. Boise State, North Texas. We had a couple great games Saturday, but yeah, I'd say the biggest one so far was last night. Western Kentucky beating South Alabama 44-23.
RL Carriers New Orleans Bowl there. Mine was the game that we hyped up, man. I really thought UTSA Troy had the potential, like we said, to be the best bowl game, not one of the playoff games. This whole bowl season, because most of both of the teams were there. They played, and it really let me down. There wasn't a whole lot to get excited about watching that game unless you had bet Troy, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it was
And
close,
so
but
I just
if you're
that one really,
UTSA,
that's the surprise of me in a negative way.
yeah,
Was that game the surprise? Positive, I guess, like tonight has to be Air Force just handling Baylor.
yeah,
I mean, just
never close.
tearing them apart. 30-15 final there. I did not see that. I thought Baylor was, because a lot of coaches, they use, of course, this is pre-transfer portal, pre-NIL. They always used bowl season as sort of the springboard into next season. We just went through signing day, the early signing period. Now you can use this going into national signing day here in a couple months. But if you're Baylor, what do of course, I guess any school, right? Like we said, NIL, transfer portal, bowls used to mean something, and now it's almost, it's almost like it kind of takes it away. But that one, Air Force, I did not see Air Force
I
beating
didn't either.
Baylor.
I had Baylor
doubling them
picked
up.
in our Capital One Bowl Mania challenge. I had Baylor. That was shocking. Speaking of National Signing Day earlier this week, Alabama, Nick Saban, that guy never ceases to amaze. Gets the top class. Now, he was second last year. Of course, Alabama or A&M had number 1 class last year. Alabama was number 2, but they come right back, get it this year. I think they've had the number 1 class 3 out of the last 5 years or 4 out of the last 5 years.
Unreal.
That Nick Saban guy, he is it's unbelievable how, because he lost some talent to the transfer portal this year.
Yeah.
He just restocked. I mean, it's amazing that guy at that age, he still gets it done recruiting.
And we talk about it in basketball. Coach K had to embrace the one and done. I wonder if Saban, and we're starting to see it with Tua, Devontae Smith. You're starting to see Saban really start to embrace playing these guys young and as true freshmen. Used to be, you're going to sit here, you're not going to play as a freshman. You're probably not going to play as a sophomore. You'll probably split time, play sparingly, possibly as a sophomore, but more than likely as a junior. And senior year, you'll get your chance, right? But you'll probably play for 3 national titles and win 2 your 4 years at Alabama. Now I think Saban's kind of embracing going.
Kids are not doing that anymore.
No, we got to play these cats young, and that may be why, like you said, he's lost a whole bunch of talent. And he's probably got some of these guys coming in going, I be honest, I don't got anyone that can start over you.
I mean, he lost guys that were first, second-year guys, and they didn't get the PT they wanted, and they're out. And he just reloaded again. But 2 things on that. Yeah, these young guys, they just don't – if you're really good, really highly touted recruit, and you go and you don't play your first 2 years, you're gone. Doesn't matter where you go. Stetson, unless you're a guy like Stetson Bennett, that dude just wanted to be the quarterback of Georgia. He would have waited forever just to have that chance. That's what he did. So unless you got a guy that's just a diehard at your school, they're probably leaving. Second thing, Nick Saban, Alabama, we talk about all these opt-outs. How about Bryce Young, in all likelihood, going to be number 1 pick in the draft to the Texans, and Will Anderson might be the number 2 pick right behind him. Both of them, they didn't make the playoff. Both of them playing in the Sugar Bowl against Kansas State. Love it. I hate the opt-outs. I get them. Fan of Texas. Texas has 3 opt-outs. Bijan Robinson, I get that. You're a running back. You're a lot more prone to injury. But the other 2 is a backup running back and the starting linebacker. I'd play. I don't understand why you're not going to be a first round draft pick. Just put some good tape out there and one last go around. So I think there's too many opt outs. And I love that Alabama best 2 players, maybe the top 2 picks in the draft, they're going to play, and I love it.
That speaks to those guys. And if you're a football guy, you don't get the opt out. You're like, hey man, you play, right? Your team, your teammates are counting on
last
you.
game with the boys.
You play. If you're a business guy, if you're a guy who really embraces the business side that collegiate, amateur athletics is it has become, then you're like, yeah, man, you're opting out because Matt Corral might have been a first round pick, quarterback for Ole Miss.
Yeah.
He plays in the bowl game, gets hurt, falls out. Still gets drafted, but gets hurt. So, for every Matt Corral, there's several other dudes who boosted their stock or kept their stock the same. And I think both decisions are correct. I think if you want to play.
Yeah.
As the fan, me, I'm sitting here going,
I want everybody to play.
In a perfect world, we wouldn't have free agency in the NFL. We wouldn't have the transfer portal and NIL, and it would just be where you went's where you went.
Yeah.
But, that's just me being a fan, right? Because I'm sitting here going, yeah, what would happen if DeMarcus Ware doesn't go to the Broncos? Of course, we don't get some of the guys that have helped us, Dallas in the past, but, I just.
People forget that.
It's frustrating, free agency. I get it.
Free agency didn't happen until the late 80s, early 90s?
Early 90s. They had the Part B or Type B or something free agency, and then they ended up with legitimate, what we know now as free agency in the early 90s, because that's always been what I've always heard is part of why Barry Sanders left was because, Lions wouldn't trade him, and he's like, I'm been to the playoffs, once, one playoff win or something like that. He's like, I'm out.
I'll never forget. It had to been 99 or 2000. 2001. I was going into my 8th grade year. So I was at Jay Novacek's football camp down in Irving. Troy Aikman was a guest speaker one day, and he came, and all the campers anybody could ask a question, and somebody asked him something about how he compares his dynasty, Cowboys dynasty in the 90s during the era of free agency compared to the rest of them. And Aikman was like, point blank, he was like, I think ours was better because we had to fight free agency. He goes, yeah, we got guys, but we also lost guys. We lost Ken Norton. We got, guys like, or they lost Charles Haley. Yeah, got Dion.
Charles Haley.
Lost Charles Haley, lost Ken Norton. He's like, he goes, I put ours up with anybody's because we had to do it through free agency. It wasn't all through the draft, and we had the same core of guys for a decade. We had to do it through free agency. That's why. And I'll never forget, I was kind of like, I didn't really even know what free agency was. I was 13, 14 years old, and he's explaining free agency to us. So,
wow.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That is. Yeah. So the opt-outs for the bowl game, I'm like, man, I get it. It stinks when it's your team and it turns out to be a big key player, and you're like, well, would have liked to, going back to using the bowl game as a springboard into next season. Sure would have loved that momentum heading into signing day and then going into next season, but with transfer portal and NIL, I guess none of that stuff matters anymore.
I don't like it because it's diminished the bowls. I don't necessarily think it's the playoff that's diminished the bowls.
Yeah.
I still look forward to my team.
Remember, that was Saban. That was one of the things he said was he was worried it would diminish the other bowl games.
Maybe it has, and that's why the kids, it's a yin yang. The kids are opting out because the playoff there's so much emphasis on the playoff. It diminished the bowls, and they opted out. Because I think if the kids would still play, the bowls would still mean something. But that's why I think we talked about a couple weeks ago. Nick Saban was saying we need to go to a 12-team playoff now because so many kids that prevent opt-outs, make more games meaningful. And I'm like, you know what? He's right. So because I still look forward to, as a fan of the Longhorn, we didn't make a bowl last year. So season was over. So I still enjoy the bowl games. I enjoy watching all of them that I can. But then when your team's playing in it, I'm looking forward to next Thursday. You know? So fans look forward to it because especially if you go, I've been to a few bowl games. We went to one together. It was a miserable trip for me. Great for you though. What was it, 2014 Texas Bowl? But
Yeah,
it's like
Texas Bowl.
you get to go on a little vacation. You get to celebrate just the atmosphere going out. Like we went out in Houston the night before. Just get a
Yeah, you get to go, it's like Austin and Fayetteville, that particular one, wherever you're from, if you go to the bowl game, it's like the two cities almost come together because there's almost equal representation if your team travels well. There was as many Texas there as there was Arkansas.
yeah.
There, you're hearing Texas fight, you're hearing the Hogs get
I
called.
remember
Like
we
it
went to
was
like
awesome.
some bar. I don't even remember when it was in Houston. Before just the buzz you get before
Yeah.
like a big game like that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Neutral
Yeah, I love the
sites.
bowls.
I did too. Love them. Love them. Wish I could go to San Antonio. When you get older and have kids and stuff, that prevents your bowl trips. But San
Just say
Antonio
you're going to say you got to go get gas or something and then just go.
be back in like a couple of days. Going to get gas. Where did you get gas at? It's San Antonio. Right now, I had to
Yeah, it
go to
was
the
cheaper
Alamo.
at the
Cheaper at the Alamo.
Valero down there.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some picks. Last week, 3-4 for me. What did I had? I gave all college. Went 3-4. Jimmy went 4-2 again, back to back, 4-2 weeks for Jimmy. College ranks, looking at you. College, you went 3-1. NFL 1-1. So season record 50-39 for me. Jimmy 40-42. Both of us well over 500. Just phenomenal this late in the season. So I got 6. I got 3 college, 3 NFL. So
I got 5.
5. I like it.
Yeah,
I
I got
added.
5.
Now I actually had 4, but then we were talking, and I was like, I kind of like 2 a year, so I'm adding 2 of them that you
I
had.
like it.
So my college one, to Friday, 2:00 kickoff Friday, December 23rd. It's Louisiana, Houston. I think Houston's going to overlook Louisiana. Louisiana getting a touchdown. I think Louisiana, this game means a lot more to them than it does to Houston. The way Holgerson was big game hunting when he was recruiting. He was taking shots at guys he probably had no chance of getting. I think he spent a lot of time recruiting. I don't know how prepared they are for the game. So it is the Friday Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. They're in Shreveport. So give me Louisiana Raging Cajuns +7.
I could see it. You're right. And a school like Louisiana does what we were talking about, is going to use this bowl in recruiting.
Yep.
Because those guys aren't getting the same guys that LSU's getting.
Exactly.
They're not even getting the same guys Tulane's getting now.
Yeah, Tulane surpassed.
They're trying to keep, they're trying to win their schedule, and they're going to use this. Hey, look at us. We beat Houston, we beat Power 5. So yeah, I like that. I think Louisiana's going to have a lot more to play for.
Yep.
Sticking with that same day of the week, Friday, December 23rd, the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. We talked about a little bit earlier. Wake Forest versus Missouri. Wake Forest getting 2. Wake Forest favored by 2. Give me Wake Forest. Missouri is not good. They shouldn't have beat us, and they did. Missouri, I think Wake Forest is going to cover that and then some. Give me Wake Forest -2.
I'm on this game as well. Wake Forest -2. Sam Hartman, the quarterback, it's his final go around. Last game for the Demon Deacons. I just like Wake Forest. I think they win this game, and they're only small numbers. So give me Wake Forest -2. I'm with you.
I like it.
So I'll take that. My last college one. So I got Louisiana, Wake Forest. Last college one is Saturday. It is the Easy Post. Don't know what that is. Easy Post Hawaii Bowl. Middle Tennessee State versus San Diego State. I think these teams are very similar. Middle Tennessee State is getting a touchdown. Give me the points. I'm always going to take the points. So I got the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders +7.
Yeah. I like that. I'm going to stick in the same bowl game, and I'm going to give me over 48.
Like it.
I think these teams are about the same. They both score in the high 20s. I think this could be another kind of shootout type game, maybe Boise State, North Texas-ish. So give me Middle Tennessee State, San Diego State, Easy Post Hawaii Bowl over 48.
I like it. Saturday, Cowboys, Eagles. We already talked on it at length. I think the Cowboys bounce back. They get it done. No Jalen Hurts. It's 4. It's 4.5. Buy it down to 4. Give me the Dallas Cowboys -4 Christmas Eve.
I like it. I like it. I'm going to go to the NFL myself. Bills, Bears, noon kickoff, Christmas Eve. Buffalo favored by 8. Give me those 8 points. Give me Buffalo to cover -8. Buffalo looking to lock up the East, trying to stay in for that number 1 seed. This is going to be a big game, and I think Buffalo comes ready to play, and I think they handle the Bears by more than 8. I think this is a probably 17-ish, maybe 3-touchdown win for the Bills. So give me Buffalo -8.
Nice. Like it. Buffalo was my preseason Super Bowl pick. 3 weeks ago in the season, this is the teams that are going to make a run to get to the Super Bowl. This is when they get hot. Buffalo won last week against the Bills, won the week before that against the Jets. I mean, they're about to get hot. I think they're about to get hot. It's a great pick, even though it's on the road. But if they're a good team, the Bears are terrible. They'll take care of business. The last two, we're both on the same. We like them both. They are Saturday games. I'm trying to figure out what time. 12. They both at 12. Both of them are 12. Noon games. Titans -3, Bengals -3. Titans are hosting the Texans. Texans overtime loss, back-to-back weeks. Cowboys and Chiefs. They've been on a tear. Tennessee starting backup quarterback Malik Willis. We both love the Titans. Titans -3 for me. And also the Bengals at the Patriots. The Patriots are terrible. Last week's loss is going to haunt them. I like Cincinnati. Again, another Super Bowl team. They're going to get hot. They've been hot. Come back last week against the Bucks. So, again, I like the Bengals. So, Titans, Bengals -3.
Yeah, we both had those 2 picks -3. For the Titans game, I just think the Titans are the better team. Titans are at home, and those losses late, the Texans, that tells me they still got a little ways to go. And I think, Derrick Henry's had a kind of a off season this season, right?
Yeah.
He's got 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns. It's a great year, but we expected a whole lot more coming into the season out of Derrick Henry. I think he has a pretty big game. Damon Pierce, I don't know if he's 100% healthy for them yet, but they're going to be without one of their starting offensive linemen, first-round guard, Green from A&M. So I'm sitting here going, okay, well, you're going to have a hole on the offensive line. This, to me, maybe even peak at the under here, but I think the Titans cover that by 3. And then you've got Bengals, Patriots. Mac Jones needs to shut up and play football. He does not have the skins on the wall to be cussing out his offensive coordinator. I don't know where that's crazy to me. And then he's playing bad too. I'm like, it's one thing if you're out there throwing dimes and then the dude's making you hand it off and you're like, look what I can do. Dude, you're not even doing that.
Just because you made the playoffs last year, don't give you. I mean,
now you got a big.
You don't even have a playoff
buddy.
win. You just made the playoffs. So
you're not Brady, homie.
Exactly.
You're not Brady. You may play for his coach. You may even date his old lady now. I don't know, but you ain't him. And this is a game, the Bengals, I think they're just going to pour it on them. I think, like you said, the Bengals are about to get hot. And this is one of those games where I just think it's in Foxborough. And Cincinnati just wants to shut the door on this and just prove, hey, if last year wasn't enough, there's a new sheriff in town. Everything goes through Cincinnati. And,
Joe Burrow, that guy. He could be the next quarterback of. I like what I see from Joey B. Dude can play some ball.
And I'm gonna like what I'm gonna see from him on a Saturday there, the 24th.
Saturday,
I think they won the Patriots.
There you have it. 11 picks, 6 for me, 5 for Jimmy. We're trying to stay hot. We've had like 3-4 winning weeks in a row. See if we can keep that going. Again, we're going to record Monday, so it'll probably won't be out till Tuesday around. Hopefully, we'll get it out Tuesday around lunch, and then we won't record again until the following. It'll be out the following Thursday. But next week's episode, we will recap the Cowboys Eagles, preview
hopefully a win.
Yeah, hopefully a win. Preview Cowboys Titans, but we'll also deep dive the remaining bowl games, all the good bowl games that will happen all next week and New Year's Eve. So you definitely want to check us out next week. It'll probably be a long show. I bet it'll be like an hour because, I mean, we're going to talk about all the bowl games. We'll talk about the rest of the bowls except for the national championship. And then the week out, we'll preview that. So next week, we're going to record Monday. Should be out Tuesday, the 27th by lunch. So it'll be a good one. Be a long one, but it'll be a great one. Be a great one to listen on the workout or taking a walk or something. But anyway.
Long drive. You know,
Long
maybe
drive.
your in-laws, maybe your relatives are in and in-laws are in. You just sneak off into the bathroom and just shut the door and, you know, stomach's upset.
There you go.
Really just sit there on the commode and listen to us.
Nothing better. A little GG on the toilet.
GG on the throne, man.
On the throne. Anyway, well, you guys have a great Christmas. Jimmy, have a great Christmas.
You too, buddy.
Hopefully we get a Cowboys win. Celebrate. Would really make my Christmas. So everybody, Merry Christmas from the Gridiron Grind.
Santa's listening. That's all I want for Christmas. Cowboys win.
Victory. All right. Well, we'll see you all on Tuesday by lunch. Try to get it out.
All righty. See y'all.
See you, Jimmy.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
bye.
Bud.